Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today we have a theme that I absolutely adore, the vintage library collection from our friends at Stamperia. So if you're a bookworm like me, then this is right up your alley. We have papers, we have rub-ons, and a package of coordinating chipboard die cuts. So I'm going to move the package aside and move the rub-ons aside, and we can take a look at the 8x8 backgrounds collection. So this has 10 double-sided sheets of paper patterned with really beautiful coordinating designs. There's some text, there's wallpaper style, tapestry patterns. You've got some faux leather in here, really gorgeous, and all in this rich color palette. And of course, because they're all totally coordinating, they're really easy to use singly or together in groups. So that's the 8x8 backgrounds collection. Then to go along, we have two sets of rub-ons. So there's the vintage library books, which you can see here, and the vintage library calligraphy. Now each of these is full of images that can be used as focal or accent pieces, and they work just beautifully with the papers. Now there was also that package of 44 die-cut chipboard embellishments, and we can see some of them here. And take a look, you'll see that you've got a variety of sizes and shapes, really fun elements to use as card focals or for the inside of your card and for your other paper crafts as well. So as you can see, we have a lot to explore today. I have 4 projects to share with you. I've got 3 cards and 1 tag in a bag. I had so much fun with this collection, and I am so very glad you're here. Come play with us. I couldn't resist using this large bookstore die cut as my card focal. In my family, we have a lot of readers, and a gift certificate to the local bookstore is always a welcome gift. So I thought this would be a perfect way to present a gift card with a mini envelope on the inside of the card. So you can tuck in your gift certificate in there and have a really perfect image for the front of the card. So to make this, I first covered the card front with this fun pattern paper, and I'm using the border of the paper as the border of my card. And on top of this, I added a strip of blue pattern cardstock. This will look familiar because it was a little offcut from our first card. And of course, paper crafters always save every little snippet, so I've just used this as a border on here. Then I've got a larger piece of cardstock down at the bottom. It's this kind of faux old paper down here, and I've got my Dazzle message. I sanded the edges of the bookshop die cut, and I added the inkwell and the pen kind of going diagonally here, just to break up some of those really linear lines on the front of my card. And the edges of my card front are inked with Dove Gray. Now on the inside, as we've already seen, I've got a border of this pattern paper. I've got a rub-on stack of books. I've got some pen nib rub-ons from both of the rub-on packs. Plus I've got this mini envelope, and this is where I will tuck in my gift card or message or money gift or whatever you want to tuck inside there. So to do this, the mini envelope is really easy to make. And I'm using, of course, the mini envelopes cutting die for this. You've got 2 options. This is the one that I've used. This one is a narrower one, but both will fit a standard size gift card. So to do this, all you need to do, grab the die and your low tack tape. I like the one from Hunky Dory, and just position it onto your cardstock or paper and run it through your die cutting machine, and you'll have a shape that looks like this. Then simply flip it over. Well, you can decide which side you want to use for the front. Let's use this one for the inside. And you're simply going to fold up those scored lines. So this will give you your die cut. It will also give you your scoring lines. I like to use the bone folder to just crease those down really well. And then you can fold up the bottom. Same process, like so, and then also fold down the top. And this will tuck, there's a little flap in there, as you can see. This will tuck right inside there. Now, what you can also choose to do, you can glue up the bottom to create a pocket that's really secure. I did this die cut with some of my 5th grade art club students, and they decided to leave it all open so that there would be a little message inside so that somebody could read the whole thing. It was glued right inside. So you've got lots of different options for how you want to use this. Now for my card, let me grab this again. I've inked around the outside edges, also using the Dove Gray just for a little bit of shading on there. Got another little leftover snippet of cardstock, and then I've got 2 of the chipboard elements and a little rub-on here. And then I've just simply glued this right on the inside of the card to make a card that is also a gift. This card features the chipboard die cuts as framing elements around my window in my card front. So you can peek through, and this is a fun way to create some extra dimension on your card. And it's really easy to do with your circle cutting dies. So first I've covered my card front with this kind of dark faux leather pattern paper. And then I added a strip of 2 other papers as the border going across the center. Then I've positioned my circle cutting die on top and ran it through my die cutting machine. So a couple of tips just in that process. I'll move this aside and you can see I've got my card front covered with my pattern paper, and in this case I had added my border on there before I got to the die cutting piece. But I've positioned my circle die where I want it to go, and when I do that, because I know I wanted to have this scalloped frame around the outside edge, I kind of played with the positioning to make sure that I had enough room to accommodate that. Then a couple of other tips for you too. When you're using your low tack tape, position the tape more toward the inside rather than the outside of your die cut. And that way, if it gets stuck too firmly on that pattern paper, you're not tearing the front of your card. The second tip is, of course, to have your card front totally open, have your card totally open before you send it through your die cutting machine. Otherwise, you can cut your circle through both layers, which you don't want to do. And because I have an old and well-loved die cutting machine that's got lots of little paper bits stuck in the plates, I will take just a scrap piece of paper, fold it in half, and kind of create a nest for this when I'm sending it through my die cutting machine. And that will just help to kind of protect my card front and the inside from any little stray bits of paper or scuff marks or indentations. And then once I've sent that through, I can pop out my window, and then there we go. So I've got my window ready to go. Now for the scalloped frame that you see around here, well, this is using this very same die, so our circle die, and then also the slightly larger scallop frame. So these come together in the set, and I've put the 2 of them together and use this on my pattern paper to create my scalloped frame. Now, which paper is this, you might ask? Well, I can tell you. It's not one of the papers really at all. It's the front of the paper pack. So I've used this section in here. And that actually happened by accident. I was using the other side, but then I saw this side after I'd done my die cutting and I thought, ooh, I quite like that. So then I've got my frame and I can glue this right on the outside of my card. Now I did do some inking around the outside edge of this with the Dove Gray ink pad before gluing that down. And again, that gave it a little bit of definition. You can glue it straight down. You could also glue it down with some double-sided foam tape if you wanted to as well. So then back to my original card on the card front. I added the die cuts here, so I've got them kind of going around the curve of this. I've got some of the rub-ons, the calligraphy rub-ons going down here at the bottom and then again along the edge of this border. And I've got some 1/8 inch ribbon here just tied in a bow for a little touch of softness. On the inside I've got more die cuts. Here are 2 more rub-ons and then my script dazzle. Okay, I have one more project to share with you, and that is a fun tag in a bag design. I love making tag in a bag projects. You may have noticed from some of my other webisodes. It is just such a fun design to create, and I really like how, like the mini envelope, it's a great way to include a special message or even a small gift along with your greeting. Now here I've placed the tag inside the bag, but you could also tuck in a special note, photos, recipe, a small gift, or in this case, even a list of book recommendations. So here's the project, and here is the die that I'm using if you haven't seen this one before. So as you can see here, you've got your dies, two of them. You've got your tag, and then you've got your bag element here too. Everything is spelled out in terms of how you fold things up. Really quick and easy to do. This is the paper design that I'm working with, and all you'll do is take your bag die, simply position it down where you want it to go, secure it down with some low tack tape, and send it through your die cutting machine. Now I've got a sample here that I've just made with some scrap cardstock, and you can see how this just simply folds up either side and the bottom. I like to use extra sticky tape to secure things down. And then you've got a really nice little pocket ready to go. Super simple to do. Now with our project today, I first wrapped the border piece around the center of the bag. So I've got a couple of layers of pattern paper here. And then I've added a collage of the die cuts. I sanded the edges of all of the chipboard pieces so that it gives a little bit of a distressed look. And I added a rub-on down at the bottom here. Now this is from the calligraphy set. For the tag, I have a simple memory rub-on plus the owl chipboard element, and then two keys up at the top. One is a rub-on and the other one is chipboard. And then I've just got some ribbon going through the top here. Simple and easy and so much fun to make. And that is our final project of the day today. So a thank you to our friends at Stamperia for today's collection, which was so much fun to work with. And a big thank you to you for joining me today. We're really glad you're here, and we're so happy you're a part of our Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.